short of a country just conquering another country and taking all their wealth. Well, in fact, maybe that's what happened. Maybe, Joyce, we were conquered and we didn't even know it. Do you think that's possible, people? That America could have been conquered by stealth? Mr. Silverstein bought these Twin Towers lease rent, not the actual physical ground, for 99 or the remainder of 99-year lease, for $25 million down, with the prospect in a few years he had to vacate 1/2 of the 110 stories, each an acre in dimension. He's got to vacate all that, strip the walls away, have guys in hazmat suits go in there and scrape and chemically remove all the asbestos. Can you imagine how many hundreds of millions, perhaps billions of dollars that operation would cost? And then put the new, less effective insulator against the steel beams.
Who in the hell would even want that building?
Good question, Joyce.
I wouldn't.
Good. See, Joyce is thinking. I hope you're thinking. Joyce is thinking. Who would want to buy 2 buildings that have a total of 220 acres, knowing about 110 acres of those buildings have to have all the tenants moved out, the walls have to be stripped, all the asbestos has to be scraped off, all by teams of dozens of guys, probably hundreds of guys, in hazmat suits with breathings like they're walking on the moon, because you can't ingest any of this terrible asbestos fiber. And that date was coming up, something I think 2003, 2002 maybe. You New Yorkers, you guys in New Yorkers can research this, you would know. But it was coming up very soon. So he goes out and he buys this building, this huge white elephant. And what do you think he has a team of lawyers doing for the next 20, 30, 40 days, Joyce? Joyce is clueless.
I don't know, negotiating insurance?
Oh, Joyce is right on it,
Hey,
and I didn't.
I did it. All right.
Joyce is a thinking woman. She may be young and beautiful and all that, but she is a thinking woman.
Don't let anyone know that. I'll never get married.
You get $10 for that, Joyce. $10 because she's right.
Well, you might always get $10.
She's a I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say you're a $10 gal. No, she's valuable. She's much more valuable than
Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that on air.
I know. I said I'm not going to say that.
And then you said it. You said it anyway.
Slap my face. Make me, put me in pain. Go ahead, slap my face.
I don't think so. I think that's a lawsuit.
Yeah, and a lot of witnesses too.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, getting back to the very serious issue, who would buy a building knowing it's going to cost you $500 million or $1.5 billion to retrograde and bring up to current New York City standards? Who would do such a crazy thing? Silverstein, who already owns 7 World Trade Center, which is 47 stories high, and it's not in that World Trade Center block owned by the Port Authority. No, it's across a big wide street, about an average block away. And it's 47 stories. And nobody ever told you about this building after 9/11. In fact, on the west coast of America, there's still people walking around saying, oh, there was no 3rd building that came down. Yes, there was. On September 11th, 2001, first, the Twin Towers came down. And by the way, the one got hit second came down first. And the one that got hit first by the plane came down second. Now, something's not right there. But don't worry, don't confuse. That's not a major point. 6 or so hours later, right, the second one came down, I think, around 10:38 or something in the morning. About 6 hours later, or 7 hours later, in the afternoon, a block away, the third building, 7 World Trade Center, who just happened to be owned by our favorite little Jewish guy from faraway land. Name is, guess Joyce, tell us what his name is.
Silverstein?
Silverstein, yes. Bingo. I swear I'm going to give this gal $10 tonight. She's got the right answers. She's worth 110, but that's the number of floors. 110 floors would have had to have been stripped out. Who wants a building like that, people? Silverstein did. And for $25 million down, he purchased it less than 90 days before September 11th. Now you say, well, Mr. Wagener, where do you get all these facts? Well, there's all kinds of newspapers that bring up these little tiny bits of information, but you got to bring it all together because they don't give you the whole story. No newspaper. You have to go see Loose Change, second edition.
But the man that sold it was pissed.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not. That's a good question. I don't know who sold it, Joyce. But Joyce is right. Silverstein had a team of attorneys negotiating knuckle hard with the insurance company saying, we need to be protected against acts of God and terrorism. Oy vey. Why do they need to be protected against acts of terrorism? Why do they need to be protected against acts of terrorism? Why do they need to be protected against acts of terrorism? Can you get an insurance policy that protects your house against acts of terrorism? Call your insurance agent. Find out what that costs. Silverstein didn't care so much about the cost. He wanted the policy in place. And by God, less than 1 month, I think it's less than 28 days, after the ink is dry on the insurance policy, he makes the first couple of, I think the first payment on the insurance policy. Guess what happens? The president's brother, another Bush, the Bush brother, the one you never hear about, is on Securicom's board of directors. And he makes a memo sent over to the guys running Securicom on the ground at the Twin Towers saying, send the bomb-sniffing dogs on vacation. Why? Why did they have bomb-sniffing dogs? Because back in the early 90s, the FBI took this stupid little Arab guy and said, hey, stupid little Arab guy, we want you to help the FBI. We're testing security at the World Trade Center. This is back in the 90s. Said, here's a nice fake bomb. We're going to put it in a real van, and we want you to go and park right here in this spot next to this pillar in the subterranean parking of the World Trade Center, and we're going to put cones around it so that it'll be reserved for you, and you go in and you park there. He says, oh, yes, Saeed, I want to help you, FBI guy. Oh, yes, I will help you. Takes the fake bomb in a van, goes in. Guess what? Some pushy New Yorker had pushed the cones aside and went in and parked right in that reserve spot for Mr. Saeed Arab guy. I'm not giving his real name because I'm making kind of fun of him, and it's sad. The guy's doing prison time for...
I don't understand why you're making fun of this man.
Well, because he was stupid. He was trying to help the FBI test security. Oh, gee. Like the FBI doesn't have any agents that can test security? No, we got to get this Arab guy to do it. He goes in, some pushy Jewish guy has parked right there, pushed the cones aside, and parked. So he can't get next to the pillar where he's supposed to. So he parks a little bit away. And kaboom! It wasn't a fake bomb, it was a real bomb. Gosh, the FBI was so hot on that guy's trail, they know just who to go get. So the moral of the story is, if somebody from the government says, we want you to test a bomb for us, or we want you to help us test security. Remember this little Arab guy doing life in prison without possibility of parole, I believe.